You probably see it every single day, maybe without even realizing its profound global impact, right? I'm talking about halal certification. Now, while a lot of folks think of this strictly as a religious requirement, in our modern global economy, it has evolved into something so much bigger. It is, quite literally, a highly sought-after global passport for food and products. And it's what allows brands to cross borders and reach billions of consumers worldwide. Welcome to The Explainer.
Today, we're going to break down this exact bureaucratic process into a clear, engaging journey. Because let me tell you, there is a massive administrative machine operating behind that little logo you see on your favorite snack. We are going to completely demystify the steps, the authorities who run the show, and the surprisingly wide variety of products that actually go through this gauntlet. Okay, let's dive into this. At its core, to Muslim consumers, this certification provides absolute assurance that a product fulfills Sharia law, specifically focusing on the concept of halal tayyibin, which beautifully translates to halal and wholesome. But here's the fascinating part. To non-Muslims all around the world, this standard has simply become a universal marker of high quality, supreme hygiene, and wholesomeness. It essentially means the product has been rigorously vetted from start to finish.
So what is it exactly? Well, earning the actual halal certificate means you've passed incredibly strict guidelines defined by an Islamic organization. A brand absolutely cannot just slap a label on a box and claim their product is halal. No way. They have to truly earn this official document, this badge of honor, to prove it to the world.
Here is our roadmap for the explainer today. 1. Decoding halal certification. 2. Types of certificates. 3. The global gatekeepers. 4. What can be certified. And 5. The certification workflow. We're going to navigate all these international complexities step by step.
Starting with Section 1, Decoding Halal Certification, the baseline. This baseline right here is the absolute foundation of trust between any manufacturer and their global consumer base. Moving on to Section 2, Types of Halal Certificates, Finding Your Fit. Think of this just like traveling internationally. Just like you need different types of visas for different kinds of travel, products need very specific types of certificates based on how they're made and sold.
So let's look at the visas a business can actually get. First, a site certificate approves an entire physical location, like a whole production plant or a slaughterhouse. Then you've got certificates for a specific product, for a set duration. There's also yearly certification, which, you guessed it, has to be renewed every year after passing an inspection. Now, a batch certificate is highly specific. It's only valid for a particular batch of a product until its exact use-by date. And finally, there's the fixed formula certificate, which covers a product for 1 to 3 years, but only if the recipe and marketing never, ever change.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the fine print on that fixed formula certificate. Because it's valid for several years, the certifying agency doesn't just take the manufacturer's word for it. They actually use a system of occasional, entirely unannounced plant visits. It totally proves that compliance is an ongoing, strictly monitored commitment, not just some one-time test you can cram for and then forget about.
Section 3. The Global Halal Gatekeepers. Who holds the keys? This is crucial because, as it turns out, not all certificates are created equal. Technically, any individual Muslim or Islamic organization could issue a certificate, but whether it's accepted or not, that completely depends on the country you are trying to export to.
To put this into perspective, let's look at this number, 40. There are literally more than 40 different organizations issuing halal certificates in the United States alone. If you're a manufacturer, that seems like a lot of great options to choose from, right?
Well, hold on a second. Because of those 40-plus U.S. organizations, only 5, just 5, are actually approved by Indonesia's Majelis Ulama Indonesia, or MOI, and only 16 are approved by Malaysia's JAKEM. So the huge takeaway here is that your destination country completely dictates your acceptable passport. If you want to sell your goods in Indonesia, you better be absolutely sure you picked one of those 5 specific U.S. certifiers.
And get this, according to JAKEM sources, over the years, of all the global organizations approved by Malaysia's JAKEM, a full 50% aren't even actively issuing certificates anymore. Half of them. It just shows how constantly the landscape of these gatekeepers is shifting.
So who are the major global heavyweights in halal recognition that you actually need to know? Well, you've got Malaysia's JAKEM, Indonesia's MUI, Singapore's MUIS, and Saudi Arabia's Muslim World League. Interestingly, Malaysia and Indonesia are super unique in this space because they are the ones with formal, structured programs to officially approve other certifying organizations around the world.
Let's shift gears to Section 4. What can be certified? And spoiler alert, it is way more than you think.
I mean, we all immediately think of meat, right? But the reality of the halal passport is so much broader. The rule of thumb is simply this: any product used by Muslims can be certified. This gets divided into internal consumption, your typical foods and drinks, and external application, which is a huge market, including cosmetics and body care. You're putting it on your skin, so it matters. Plus, even though medicines don't technically require halal certification in many places, knowledgeable consumers actively seek out certified medicines anyway, making it a very, very smart business move.
And this brilliantly illustrates what we're talking about. If you look at the Smart Halal portal, you see real, appetizing, everyday consumer goods. We aren't just talking about bulk raw ingredients here. We're talking about French toast with syrup, fresh apple juice, and literally fried cheesy rice balls. Seeing these specific items really makes this whole bureaucratic process feel incredibly tangible.
Which brings us to our final section, number 5, the certification workflow, earning the passport. How do those fried cheesy rice balls actually earn their approval? We're going to break down this highly complex application process into 3 easy-to-digest phases.
But wait, before the clock even starts ticking, you have step 0. Choose your target market. As we learned just a minute ago, if you're targeting a specific country, say Malaysia, you absolutely must apply with an organization they recognize. If your market is broader, you need an international one. You literally have to pick the right agency before you even type in your name.
Okay, so phase 1 is the application. You register online for an ID, and you have to confirm that account within 24 hours. Once you do that, the clock really starts. You have exactly 5 working days to deliver all your support documents. And these aren't just your basic name and address forms. You have to thoroughly explain your entire production process, every single ingredient component, your sales regions, and even list other products made in that exact same facility just to rule out any cross-contamination.
That takes us right into Phase 2, checking and fees. The agency takes 1 to 5 working days to check your documents. If anything is missing, you have 5 days to fix it. Once it's perfect, you've got 14 working days to pay the processing fee. But here is the crazy part. During this review, the agency might actually scrutinize your formula and demand that you replace specific non-compliant ingredients before you can even move forward.
Finally, Phase 3, audit and approval. The grand finale. Within 30 days of your payment, the rigorous facility audit happens. They inspect your equipment, your cleaning procedures, sanitation, everything. If it's a slaughterhouse, they're looking at holding areas, stunning methods, the whole 9 yards. After that intense audit, your fate goes to a certification panel meeting. If you get the green light, you sign a multi-year supervision agreement, and your shiny new certificate is issued within 5 working days.
So, knowing all of this, the intense scrutiny, the unannounced audits, the ingredient replacements, and this massive global bureaucratic gauntlet just to earn this passport, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? If your favorite everyday products were put to the test, would they actually meet the ultimate global standard of halal and wholesome? It certainly makes you look at the foods you consume every single day in a whole new light.